Now, the CS2 market has been in a very interesting position. That's because obviously we were on a very strong run until Valve went ahead and dropped their latest update with the 7-day trade reversal, bringing a lot of potential impacts into this area, something of which is also appearing to be coming to rust in just a couple days. But we've got a lot of things to break down, specifically how people are believing the market is crashing right now because of this. And if we want to look at the data, it definitely seems to support the prices are decreasing right now. We're seeing significantly lower prices for a lot of items, really off the basis that a lot of people are either panic selling or they're just wanting to get out of their CS2 investments right now because of what's happening. Obviously, all across the board, nothing is really in a position right now where we're seeing prices increase, which is not too uncommon, especially for the summertime. However, a lot of people are believing it's due to this update, which definitely does have some merit. If we want to look, the majority of items right now are in a position of limbo where we don't know exactly what's going to happen, and obviously all of this comes at the feet of Valve releasing this update. So I think it's a very plausible explanation. However, I don't necessarily know if it's really the right reason right now if we want to look at a couple specific items. Skinland is today's sponsor, and they're also sponsoring you with a free $10 on your first trade. It's where I personally sell my skins because you're going to be getting the highest rate out there. They're offering a maximum amount of money in a minimum amount of time, and it's going to be nearly instant with tons of different payout options. Combine that with their massive marketplace where you're going to be able to buy anything in the entire game you're looking for with a ton of different deposit options here as well. Right now, this is the #1 place to go ahead and sell or buy skins in my personal opinion, so go ahead, use code MasterShiny and check them out today. Now, one area that's gone relatively unaffected is going to be the Austin Major, and that's just because honestly we have not gotten to see anything for the Austin Major just yet. I'm surprised we do not have that 75% off sale. It could be coming tonight, you don't really know, but the truth is it seems like it's in a very interesting position because Valve has really left this area unaffected by this whole predicament. Now honestly, if I want to look at the Austin Major, nothing too special is really going on right now. Obviously we've got these souvenir packages that have that little attachable charm to them, which is something that's very interesting. It's the first one for this major obviously, but if we want to talk about our capsule game, nothing's really going on here. Some of the capsules are in a decent position where you could theoretically profit if that sale comes, but we're seeing overall just a little bit of a lower interest for Austin right now. I will definitely say it's not a position that I'm looking to make any investment, especially not yet at least, because we've got a lot of time that these are going to be able to be for sale in this shop, and honestly I don't think there's going to be really much going on over the next couple of months when it comes to competition for Austin. But if we want to look at the data, it will probably fall off in demand anyways, which is really what happens consistently with these souvenir packages and especially for these major items. Now talking about our case market, it's in a very precarious situation. That's because if you want to look all across the board, people are saying that prices are dropping. If we want to look at the cash prices all across the board, they're dropping significantly. However, if we want to look at the Steam market, it's a little bit of a different story. First of all, our snakebite case is actually up over the past couple of days, which is absolutely insane. A lot of our cheaper rare cases really haven't dropped down that significantly in price when we're referring to the Steam community market, which is very interesting. And overall, these cases are in a very strong position moving forward. Obviously, some people may differ if they believe it's a stronger or a little bit weaker of a position compared to before, but the truth is all across the board these cases are in a phenomenal position compared to the rest of the assets you can invest into. I think cases are definitely one of the strongest, especially talking about these cheaper rare cases. The case unboxing numbers for the past couple of months have been off the charts, and if we want to compare that to any other part of the year, we can see that we're consistently still showing up very strongly for these numbers. A lot of them have been active duty and purchasable cases, but that's just the way the current market has kind of morphed into. I don't think honestly anything could be really much better inside of this area, and therefore if you're looking to make an investment, the prices being a little bit cheaper right now, I would definitely say there is that opportunity there. Although I'm not expressly believing that these prices are going to be getting any cheaper, I definitely don't think they're in a position where they're going to be growing overnight either. Now unfortunately, because of this update, there's been some pretty major important issues that have come up. The first one is obviously going to be the fact that you can only have 1,000 items in your inventory, and that includes these items that are on this trade reversal period, which also includes items you cannot put in storage units. You see the issue here. It's very important that these are kind of changes that need to happen, but we need to make sure there's some way to put them either into a separate inventory or another storage unit, or else this is going to be creating some pretty important just kind of inconveniences. To go along with that, you can also not access your Steam trades right now, which is a really big pain, especially if you're trying to do anything with this new trading feature. You can't access it, which creates a lot of, once again, big inconveniences that Valve is yet to solve. Now talking about the position of the Armory, and we'll talk about the ROIs in a quick second, but I want to focus in on the investment aspect. First up, we've got our gallery and our fever case, which have both shown very interesting predicaments over the past couple of months, but especially over the past couple of weeks. We've obviously seen the prices fluctuate a lot as people were really debating if they were going to get removed or not, and now they're obviously in a position where it seems like they are going to be sticking around for quite a while, along with everything for the collections. Now the collections are a little bit interesting because obviously they have a lot of investment potential when it comes to them getting actually removed. If they get removed, these items are nearly guaranteed guaranteed to shoot up in price because they're going to have a fixed supply most likely. With that being said, we're now in a position where I think these are probably going to be sticking around for a fair amount of time. If you want to look at the strong fundamental data, people are still actively redeeming these collections. It may not be at the past rate, which we saw in November, December, January, but people are still relatively interested in these collections. And right now, they are still bringing in a fair amount of money for Valve, which is unfortunate because they are great investment opportunities once they get removed. In the current market, though, I can't justify an investment into these because I see them as rather risky because we don't know when they're going to get removed. And honestly, it could be a very long while with everything the way things are looking. And speaking of the way things are looking for the Armory, we've got some very interesting data specifically coming about the sticker collections being dominating in terms of the ROI. They're still near 150%, which is actually extremely valuable inside of this area. I'm going to be looking to make some investments into the stickers when they tone down potentially. Right now, though, it's way too high. If you want to look at the sport and field, it's also quite up there at 122%. Otherwise, we're seeing some pretty average ROIs all across the board. Most things are hovering near 100%. Everything is somewhat close except for that Train 2025 collection. Once again, still very low. And the fact is, now it's got a souvenir package to contend with, although that's probably making a very minimal difference. Now, one area that's been a little bit on the move is going to be those major capsules. Specifically, we're seeing Paris having a little bit of movement, a little bit of life, which is so interesting. We've also seen specific stickers start to absolutely blow up. We had Evil Geniuses, then we had NIP. Really interesting inside of this area. Unfortunately, I don't think there is a absolute ton of potential here, but the major sticker market is one that always comes back to life, although I definitely don't think it's going to be enough to really see some major profit. It's very interesting to see nonetheless. Now, one area I have not focused in on over the past couple of weeks is going to be the filler skins market, and things have still been going phenomenally well inside of this area. Now, this is one of those investments that just became a little bit harder to get into because of the most recent Valve update, but I definitely still think filler skins are at the top of my list when it comes to an investment that's not cases. They are still in a perfect position when we're talking about those Train light blues and even some of the other ones that are outside of the light blue scenario. I think honestly, filler skins are in a position where we're going to consistently see them creeping on up in price. That's exactly what we're seeing. We're seeing 10 to 15% growth over the past month consistently. That's absolutely insane. That's over 100% per year. It's not going to continue at this rate most likely, but at least for the current market right now, it is still continuing at this rate, and it's a very solid option for people that don't want to go into the rare case market but still want a very solid investment in my personal opinion. Now, talking about what to watch right now, first up, the Austin Major has still not received its major sale yet, so that's a huge opportunity inside of that area. Otherwise, I'm definitely going to be saying that rare case market is highly of interest right now. With the prices dropping down, you can get a significant discount on honestly one of the best assets inside of this game entirely. And honestly, if we're talking about it, I would definitely say the filler skins are really a good option to look into. They're a little bit unique, a little bit different, but they have shown to be one of the most consistent areas over the past couple of months. That's all I got with this. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day.